Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into something that's like the secret code to sounding more natural in English. Idioms. These are the phrases that are going to take you from sounding like you're reading from a textbook to sounding like you've been speaking English your whole life.
Have you ever been listening to an English conversation and even though you know every single word they're saying, you still feel lost? It's like you're missing a piece of the puzzle, right? Well, that missing piece is almost always an idiom. But don't you worry, because today we are going to put all those pieces together.
So let's think about this as a journey. Your journey. We're going to look at idioms that perfectly match the stages every single learner goes through. First, there's that big ambition, then comes the real-life experience, and finally, you get to all the amazing new opportunities. Let's start at the beginning.
Okay, first up, the language of ambition. This is for all of you out there who are setting huge goals for yourselves. Maybe you're prepping for the IELTS exam or you're about to start your master's. These are the idioms you need when you're fired up and ready to do the work.
Here's a fantastic one to start with. It's such a great way to introduce a topic. Instead of saying something kind of stiff like, regarding my studies, you can just say, when it comes to learning a new language, consistency is key. It sounds so much more natural, right?
You know that feeling when you have a million things to do and you're just buzzing from one task to the next? You're busy as a bee. It's perfect. So you could say, I've been busy as a bee getting everything ready for my master's program. It just paints this perfect picture of you working hard and getting things done.
Oh man, we've all been there, haven't we? It's 2 in the morning, you're surrounded by books, you've got a big test tomorrow. That's when you are burning the midnight oil. You're not just staying up late, you are seriously, intensely focused on hitting your goal, like acing that IELTS exam.
Now this is all about being smart and efficient. It's about getting 2 things done with just one action. So, for example, studying in another country? That's a classic way to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Why? Because you earn your master's degree and you get fluent in English. 1 trip, 2 amazing results.
All right, so all that ambition leads you straight into the next part of the journey, the experience itself. And this is where we get real. We're talking about the ups, the downs, the things that are super easy, and yeah, the things that are maybe a little bit expensive.
So every journey's got its contrasts, right? Some things are going to feel surprisingly simple. You might walk out of an exam and think, wow, that grammar test was a piece of cake. But then other parts, like paying for tuition, well, getting that degree can sometimes cost an arm and a leg.
This is such a good idiom for putting a challenge in perspective. It's like saying, okay, this is hard, but it's not impossible. So you could say, improving my speaking skills is tough, for sure, but it's not rocket science if I practice a little every day. It's a way of telling yourself you can do it.
Okay, let's talk about probability. Once in a blue moon is for something that hardly ever happens. Like, since I'm studying abroad, I get to see my family once in a blue moon. But then you have when pigs fly, which means it's never going to happen. Absolutely never. You could say, I'll stop working on my goals when pigs fly.
Look, the path isn't always going to be smooth. With all the stress of studying, you might have days where you feel under the weather, just a bit sick or tired, But then, something small can totally turn it around. Maybe you hear a song you love, and just like that, it brings you back to life. The emotional roller coaster is so real. The day you get that acceptance letter, you are going to be over the moon, just completely unbelievably happy. But then, there are going to be stressful moments too. And a good leader, for example, knows how important it is not to lose their cool when things get tough. It's all about managing those highs and lows. Here's a super simple one you can use all the time. If something is really, really close by, you can say it's just a stone's throw away. So for instance, luckily, the library is only a stone's throw from the main campus building. It's just a much cooler, more vivid way of saying it's nearby. And all that hard work, all that experience, it brings us to the final stage, the language of opportunity. This is the payoff. These are the idioms you use for those amazing new beginnings, those moments that can change your whole life.
Real growth, the kind that actually matters, only happens when you push yourself to do things that are a little bit scary. And the perfect way to say that is stepping out of your comfort zone. For example, I really want to step out of my comfort zone. That's why I chose to study abroad. When you're about to begin something new, it feels like opening a new page in your life, right? Now, if you want to sound even more natural, you can say you're turning over a new leaf or starting a new chapter. Both of those perfectly capture that feeling of a brand new start. Some chances, they only come around once. And for those, we have the perfect idiom, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's not just any opportunity. It is the opportunity. This quote says it all, doesn't it? It's a huge, defining moment. So what's the end goal of this whole journey? It's all about progress. It's about taking those steps to move your career forward. And who knows, maybe all of that hard work will help you become a big wheel someday, a really important, influential person in whatever you choose to do.
So there you have it. You have the secret code. The only thing left to do is to start using it. I know we covered a lot, so let's do a super quick recap of the new tools you've got in your language toolkit.
So remember these. You can kick off a topic with, when it comes to, when you're working hard, you're busy as a bee, when you're incredibly happy, you're over the moon. And that big, scary, exciting decision, that's you stepping out of your comfort zone for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
And that brings us to the end. So I'm going to leave you with this question. What is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that you are working towards right now? Have a think about it and see if you can use one of these new idioms to describe it. Thanks so much for listening today.